Viol Live στοίχημα. Μεγάλη ποικιλία σε στοιχηματικές αγορές. Υπευθυνότητα και ασφάλεια. Αξιόπιστο cash out. Τεράστια γκάμα προσφορών. Fonbet. Κατεβάστε την εφαρμογή για iOS και Android.
Kalibera, Kalispera, every time you're watching, this is Mappa, sponsored by Fonbet. That's our guys, Fonbet. So, if you want to bet, go to that QR code, you get 30 euros free, 30 euros welcome bonus. I got it. Now, it's a little bit of an early show. Normally do it quite later, as you know. But Thaso has become a dad once again, so he cannot do the show. So, without any further ado, Thaso Mo, this is a video I've prepared for you on the birth of your child. Sorry, Thaso Mo, I had to do it. Now, without any further ado, boys and girls, listen, I'll be honest with you, I've been feeling a little bit under the weather today, I'm not going to lie. I've puked up about 4 times, getting phone calls from work, phone calls from other people. I have a daughter at home, helping her with her Greek homework. It's like, Stefania, look, bucket, phone call, 1 minute, call you back with my kid. I'm just going to be sick. It's just one of those fucking days. But I'm going to do this for you guys. What's happening, Gostandino? What's going on, my guy? What's going on? Listen, before I do anything else, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at This Is Mappa. Regular updates on X, by the way. And Instagram, more of the fun stuff. So there you go. I'm on my ones. So anyone that's watching live, hello. If you want to contribute, feel free to do so in the comments, whatever. Subscribe if you're not subscribing. So let's go with the cup final. The cup final was the weekend gone. Buffalo wanted to do a double. AEK wanted to win their first cup since 2018. And boys and girls, it was a bit of a shit game. Ain't gonna lie. Nothing much really happened. Nothing. I think the first shot was in like the 53rd minute. So 0-0, it goes to extra time. Nothing else happens. And then penalties. And AEK took the first with Milicevic, 1-0. Then it was Osic to equalize. Aglieski made it 2 from the spot. Then it was, that was Anderson, 2-2. But then Aitor's penalty was saved. And I thought, this is problems. Tankovic then made it 3-2 to Buffalo. Up step Bruno Gamma, just about squeezed it in. And then Jaja with a bit of a delicate penalty there. And Ledes, look at that for a penalty. Composure. Then Golda stepped up to win it, but it was saved. Saved by the goalkeeper. And then put top left-hand corner. And then Kinya's penalty was saved again by Alomerovic. And what a story for this goalkeeper, because Alomerovic was, as you guys probably are aware, was at Borussia Dortmund, played in that Champions League final, if I'm not mistaken. Was it against Bayern Munich at Wembley? And he didn't play for like 9 months at AEK. Apparently, they were going to rip up his contract, but he said, no, I'm staying, and here he is, the hero. And AEK are the cup winners for the second time in their history, and they go into the Europa League. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to Xavi Roca. Congratulations to everyone involved at the club. Incredible achievement, especially when you got to take into consideration that they started the season pretty shit. They were knocked out of Europe. Juan Ferrando was sacked. In came Henning Berg. And the rest is history. And let's get it right. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they signed anyone in January. Did they sign anyone in January? I don't think they did. So Henning Berg played with that deck of cards that he was dealt with. All right, they finished fourth, albeit head-to-head with Omonoia, but they've won the cup. And they beat Omonoia in the semi-final, second leg, 2-1 with 10 men. They played with 10 men for practically 90 minutes. It's mad. So yeah, an incredible achievement for cAEK. Congratulations to them. And in true Cyprus football fashion, the thank yous came a day after. And the first thank yous, well, 5 players were thank you'd at cAEK. First of all, it was Dumba, the goalkeeper, who was an academy graduate and was promoted to the first team in 2016, made 25 appearances between the sticks. Bruno Gama, who scored from the spot in that shootout, spent 3 seasons at cAEK, 65 appearances and 7 goals in all competitions. Then Fran Sol, 2 years at cAEK. Really, I think he scored 4 or 5 on his debut. I think it was 4 on his debut against Ethnico a couple of years ago. Well, he made 74 appearances and scored 21 goals in all competitions. Fast forward a couple of hours, and Mario Dimitriou, who joined the club in 2024, 3 appearances, 1 goal. He was gone. And Fano Catelari, we spoke about him last week, joined the club a couple of years ago after winning the league with Apollon, played 2 games. 2 games for Fano Catelari. Okay, he had loads of injuries. Actually, no, he wasn't from Apollon. Wasn't he from Belgium? Was he a club in Belgium before? He was at Apollon, then he went to a club in Belgium, and then he came back to Cyprus. Sorry, my bad. So yeah, 2 games, albeit due to injury. But Mr. Catelari, credit to him. In fact, not credit to him, credit to his agent. Because a couple of hours after that, I'm hearing on the radio that he's going to join Anorthosi. Fair fucks. Listen, if your agent has got a mess up, then boy, well done. Well done to you, man. So, yes. So that was the exodus, and I'm pretty certain there's going to be a few players leaving cAEK again, but let's not worry about that. Let's worry about that when the time comes. And then, fast forward a day, 2 days, and lo and behold, more good news for cAEK. Gus Ledes, who you can see behind the QR code. Yeah, so hover your phone over the QR code to get your €30 welcome bonus from Fonbet. Gus Ledes signed a new deal, contract extension, as did Milicevic, as did Valentin Robert, Robbie. Come on, my guy. I love Robbie, top boy, top bloke. And Enriquez also signed contract extension. So they'll be there next season. But the more significant announcement was Xavi Roca signing a contract extension. Now, a few weeks ago, we were talking about a potential departure for Xavi Roca, but they've stuck by him, giving him a new deal. And let's get it right. If you want to talk about how things are done, things done properly. All right, last season and the year before, perhaps you could say they got a little bit lucky, sacking Oltra and then bringing on Ben Shimon, and their fortunes turned and they did pretty well back end of the season, went head-to-head with Apoel for the title. But in comes Ferrando, which obviously didn't work out. And you know what? They pulled the trigger and they said, right, not fucking about no more. Out the door. Exo. And what happened? They brought in Henning Berg and the rest is history. And we know about Xavi Roca's transfer activity, bringing in Chacon, bringing in Aitor, Roten, the list goes on. And obviously, Enzo Cabrera, who's been a phenomenon. Absolutely fantastic player. And signing him up, Xavi Roca to a contract extension is a fantastic idea, fantastic plan. So yeah, there you go. Also, Karabadagi, the cAEK president, gave an interview with Gergida. I think it was today or yesterday, I can't remember. And he basically said that 3 clubs went in for Cabrera for €2 million. Djurgården, a team in Russia, and a team in Poland. And they said, nope, not going to happen. Now, on the one hand, you can say it's a bit of a gamble. €2 million for a player from Cyprus doesn't happen that often. But then when you deep it, if cAEK qualify for the group stages, whether it be the Europa League or the Conference League, and Cabrera, who is more than likely to do pretty well, I think anyway, can you imagine how much his valuation will go up then? I'm just saying, I don't think it's a risk. I think it's a calculated gamble. Let's see. Anyway, let's move on and sticking with the cAEK theme. They said goodbye to Berg on Monday, the head coach. And unless you've been living under a rock, not a Javi rocker, a rock, Berg was linked with Omonoia for months and months and months and months. He's going to be the new head coach. He's going to replace Dambrauskas. He's going to be the guy. And yep, the Gafene, the historias budon Gafene were correct. Berg has joined Omonoia again. Now, for any Omonoia fan watching and those that already know Cyprus football, you guys know how well Berg did. For those who don't know, Berg joined Omonoia, finished top during the COVID season, won the league in 2021. But it was a bit of an acrimonious departure, wasn't it? Sacked, I think it was middle of Feb of 2022 after a disastrous run of form. So he was kicked out the door, and then we know what happened with Lennon, with Ferreira, with Sofroni, with Rekdal, with Yanni, with Dambrauskas, with Yanni, Ketaliba. But Berg is back. And this is a very interesting one, not just for the fact that I'm an Omonoia fan, but for the fact that they sacked Berg and they decided that now's the right time to bring him back. Okay, his stock has gone up since winning the cup. But in my opinion, the Omonoia squad that he had the season he got sacked is better than the one that is there now, that they have now. And to be honest, people are going to argue with me in that respect. But if you're going to go man for man, 24-man squad, I don't know. But anyway, let's see what happens. Because as far as I've been made aware, Berg has full autonomy on players that come in and staff who come in. Now, what are you talking about, Stel? Well, what about Yanni? What about Yanni Anastasiou, the guy that Papastavro trusts so much? Brought him in to galvanize the team. After Rekdal's departure, he gave him the athletic director role. What about him? Wasn't he not involved in the recruitment process? Well, that's what we were told by the club. There'd be a recruitment process from the scouting team to liaise with Yanni, and then once they've got the shortlist, they'll send it to the powers that be, and they'll make a decision. Now, was Berg on that shortlist? I don't know. Personally, my opinion, I don't think he was. And can Yanni and Berg coexist? Now, here's where it gets a little bit more sticky, or stickier. Omonoia then announced the return of the guy on the left, Simos Daruli. Kind of a cult hero, somewhat, of This Is Mappa, because for those of you who don't remember, Daruli was sent off a few weeks ago. He was on the touchline of Salamina. He was sent off, and then he was doing his Stavro. A few months earlier, he was welcoming Camoranesi at the airport as Karmiodis as technical director with Johnny Violins. Daruli was sacked from Omonoia in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. And now he's been brought back. And rumor has it, it's Mr. Berg that decided to bring him back. Okay, fine. For me, I'm beyond caring now. There are Omonoia fans that are happy, that feel it's the right move. There are some Omonoia fans that feel it's an absolute catastrophe. I couldn't care less. Really couldn't care less. Because, and I'll give you my segue here, Roman Bezos, the guy on the right, his contract's done. They've let him go. They've thank you'd him as well. Thank you, Roman. From many Omonoia fans, not from me, but anyway, from many Omonoia fans. Which means that Roman Bezos is the first player to have left the club, which means Omonoia can only really bring in one player to replace him. With Alium possibly leaving, he's been linked with Osters in Sweden. So that would be a second player. So Berg and Darbouzzi right now have the chance to bring in 2 players. I don't know what to say, so I'm not going to say anything about that. But hey, the band is back together. Berg to the future. There we go. And I'm just assuming that Mr. Baba Savro is going to be sitting there going, Mr. Berg, you could do whatever you want. Here you go. And Yanni, don't need you now. Is he going to be pushed or is he going to jump? Anyway, I digress. Let's go. Let's go to the next one. Speaking of Omonoia and transfers, the potential third departure could be Amin Kamas, the left back that joined a couple Januaries ago. Was it last January? Not this January gone, the January before, yeah. Yeah. He was signed under the Rekdal regime, even though it wasn't Rekdal that signed him. He was signed by the club because, from what Rekdal was told, as he told us on No Choftes, that Kamas was supposed to be a summer signing, but they wanted to get him before anyone else did. Well, Kamas is linked with a club called Diogisyor? I can't even say it. Diogisyor. The dog is yours. The dog is yours. That's what I'm going to call it. The dog is yours, according to a fan website. Now, for those of you who don't know, the dog is yours FC is coached now by Valandris Mletas, who was Omonioia's coach at the beginning of last season and lasted from July to November. So they've linked Kamas with this team. So there you go. Interesting. Now, sticking with the Nicosia theme, we go over to your friend, not mine, Prodromos Pedridis. Yes, this guy. He's always going to be named on this show, isn't he? I just, every time I see this guy, I just think... There you go. So, Mr. Pedridi, the mushroom man, decided to pack his bags and get on a plane to Brazil again. He jumped on a plane to Brazil to look for investors. Yeah, this saga is rambling on, Maybe he's just trying to collect air miles or something. Maybe he thinks that clocking out air miles will give a reduction in the debt. I don't know. Really and truly, if he pulls this off, it'll be a fucking miracle. Now, on the one hand, people will say, this is just bullshit. He's going out there for a jolly up. He's going out for a knees up, get pissed, enjoy the Copacabana beach. Maybe he's going to go in hiding. Maybe he's trying to find properties to run away. Clearly, the guy wants to fix what he messed up. And to be brutally honest with you, there are a lot of people in Brazil with money that are already investing in clubs in Europe. From what I've been told, there is a businessman in Brazil that is looking at purchasing a Portuguese club. So it wouldn't surprise me if there is a lot of legitimacy to Mr. Pedridi's trip. But my goodness, how is he going to do this? You're looking at 40 plus million. 40 plus million. Any investor that comes in, how much are they going to give him? What's he going to sell it to? How is he going to sell it to him? The only explanation I can give, or the only logical or critical thinking, is whoever he meets that is a businessman probably owns a football club in Brazil. And he's going to say to them, invest in my club and you can send any players you want here. Anyone you want. We'll develop them and then you can sell them on and you can make 80%, we'll make 20%. That's the only logical explanation, because I can't think of any business in Brazil that would want to invest in Apoel. I can't think of a soft drink company or a biscuit company or I don't know. Can't think of anyone. But he's gone out there for a reason. And obviously, he's got Alessandro as his mate, and Alessandro pulls a few strings here and there. So maybe Alessandro's in. I don't know. But boy, it's looking peak for them at the moment, isn't it? Bring up some comments. Pedro's out. He got sacked after Saturday's rant. Nah. Pedro's not sacked. No. He's a no choftes guy. Don't worry. Oh, Thrasos out. Now I told you, Gulli. I told you my guy is he's celebrating his child's birth. There we go. Here he is. Mr. Brown Gafes is from Brazil. There you go. Maybe Mr. Brown's gonna be the next Abo president. Mr. Brown and Mr. Mushroom. Pedro's out. Mushroom man. Here we go. So yeah, Manidara is going to Brazil. I wonder if Brazilian mushrooms taste different to Dutch mushrooms. Anyway, on to the next. And a sad situation for boy listeners again, as Mr. Ephraim has left the club. Yep, Abo announced the departure of football director Yorgos Ephraim. Ephraim spent a total of 11 years at the club, 10 as a player, 1 as football director. During his time as a player, he won 6 league titles, 1 cup, and got the MVP award in season 2015-2016. As I said, he spent a year at the club as a football director. I don't know what his role was, really. I don't know what he did. Was he involved in transfers? I mean, maybe he spoke to Laifi. Maybe he spoke to Sotiril. Maybe he was the guy that said to him, come. We need you. Come, we go. Let's get the band back together. Come on. And they said, why not? Maybe. But here's me thinking, my team Omonoia, it would be great to have people like Bubble Libak or Matt Derbyshire or Jordi Gomez as some kind of ambassador, someone involved at the club that understands what the club is about, the DNA, etc., etc. And here they have one guy that's been at the club for over 10 years and he goes. Now, I don't know whether he resigned, whether he's sacked. My guess is he walked. He probably saw what was going on there and thought, players ain't being paid. Some of my former teammates ain't being paid. I don't want none of this. I'm not being paid. I don't want none of this. Again, my assumption. Maybe Thasso can explain more. Thasso is watching live. Say what you think, Thasso, more. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. Now, speaking of more changes, because we love a change in Cyprus, don't we? We like some allies. Anorthosi have announced their new head coach, Joaquin Gomez. Yes, we spoke about him last week. Gomez spent time at Luton Town, spent time at Stoke City. In fact, he was coaching at Brighton when Andrea Orlandi was playing there. And I actually messaged Mr. Gomez last night, wishing him best of luck at Anorthosi. And we got a bit, had a small conversation. I said to him, you were coaching at Brighton when my friend Andrea was there. He goes, yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I said, see, small world. So there you go. Joaquin Gomez knows this is Mappa. There you go. So anyway, how did Anorthosi make this announcement? Well, they sent an SMS to season ticket holders. That's one way of doing it, really. Season ticket holders get priority, I guess, or they should. So why not tell them first? Well, the thing is, when it goes to season ticket holders, it usually ends up online straight away. But Mr. Gomez put out a statement on Instagram the next day, and I'll read it. A new era begins, new challenge ahead. I feel so privileged and excited to take on the role of coach at Anorthosi, a club with a proud heritage, a passionate community, and an identity that speaks directly to the kind of football and values I believe in. From the beginning, in our conversations with Apostolos, which is obviously Magridi, and even more so now after we met with the board, management, and the people around the stadium, it was clear that our visions are aligned. Joining a group of young, hungry people who want to work on challenges and contribute to rebuilding the pride of the football club and our people. Anorthosi represents more than just football. It represents resilience, ambition, and pride. No flags, please. It represents a people, a place, and a strong spirit. We will be a team that embodies our identity on and off the field. Horrible to play against us. Aggressive fighters, high intensity and hard workers. Dominant in our mindsets, in our presence, in the way we control the game. Ruthless, never giving up or accepting what fate brings in difficult times or complacent in good times. Ruthless in both boxes to punish our opponents. Family, legacy, because strength comes from unity, trust, and believing in each other to give back to the community through more than just football. This is a new chapter, but the mission is clear: to honor history, serve the present, and build a future that makes every supporter proud. We will give everything we have for this club, this brand. To the fans, I can't wait to feel your energy, your voice, your passion. Together, we will make Anorthosis a force that no one wants to face, especially in such a unique and powerful home away from home. Let's write the next chapter together. Bomboclat! Look at that. My God, that is rallying the troops. Listen, whether it happens or not is another thing. But my goodness, I read that. I'm like, whoa, goosebumps. A coach that is very, very passionate, knows what he wants. And yeah, of course he's not going to say the right things. He's not going to say, well, we're fucking broke. A lot of our players are probably going to leave. FIFA are going to get involved, break their contracts. He's not going to say that. But according to several sources, Mr. Magridi, Apostle Magridi, sporting director, who's working with Prieto. Maybe Prieto is looking for another car. I don't know. But Magridi has already picked up the phone to contact people from South America. And we know his track record. Anderegen, Boneto, Flores, Cabrera. I'm just saying, if this transfer embargo is lifted and Magridi can work his magic and Gomez can not only stamp his authority, stamp his ideology, his philosophy, and get the players singing from the same song sheet, you never know. Let's go back to Manitara. Petridis said on his live interview, Efrem was a go-between between the board and the players when he told them they weren't going to be paid again. There you go. There you go. Of course he was the go-between because he knew most of them anyway. My goodness. Anyway, let's move over to another team beginning with A, AEL. And it's been a busy week for them because that gentleman on the left, Mario Nicolau, love that guy to bits, man. Top bloke. His spell as interim coach is over as he leaves the club after saving them from relegation. Now, prior to him coming, we were talking about AEL, the precarious situation. They were in the shit. But Mario came in and my goodness, did he bloody plug those holes. My goodness. But yeah, incredible job he did. And he was blooding youngsters as well. So, yeah, I think any club that comes in for him will be very fortunate to have him. I don't think he's a stopgap coach whatsoever. I think he's got a lot of potential. So, good luck to him, man. Anyway, his rumoured replacement is that guy to the right, Paolo Trabezzani. I don't think he's got that much hair, but this was from his time at Apoel where he won the league title, I believe. Now, as far as I'm aware, I did a quick Google. The Swiss team that he coached this season gone got relegated. So I don't know what that means. Maybe it was just a shit season in general. But I don't know what else he's done since leaving Apoel, really. But anyway, you got to trust AEL, I guess. Trust this new regime. I wonder how much influence Triskovsky had on this deal. Was Triskovsky a player at Apoel when Tramezzani was head coach? Maybe that's what I thought so. Maybe you can answer this one. Speaking of interesting, AEL made an announcement yesterday. They have entered into a strategic partnership with Levante. Levante seems to be Barcelona's bogey team. They've been promoted into La Liga. Now, what does this mean? Well, according to a statement, this is a significant step towards a collaborative model focused on holistic development of young footballers. So one would assume that AEL will be sending players to Levante and vice versa. Now, this is a long statement. I'm going to read some of it anyway. So AEL and Levante have signed a strategic partnership, establishing a collaborative model centered around the all-round development of young players. Both clubs reiterate their dedication to nurturing talent with a high standard educational framework built on professionalism and international cooperation. Levante's educational department, recognized as a platform for nurturing young talent, and AEL, one of Cyprus' most historic sports clubs, share a common vision founded on excellence, educational commitment, and creating genuine opportunities for promising young footballers. Now, what makes this even more interesting is the meetings were arranged and the agreement was signed off thanks to the assistance of a gentleman called Marcos Maisano and his company ISAM 360 Limited. Now, their name was mentioned in the statement. And when you do your Googles, you will see that this company specializes in scholarships. Mr. Maisano is Australian born. He's played football in Scotland, in America, Australia. But he has this agency where they take young players abroad on scholarships. What his involvement between the two clubs is, I don't know. I don't know if he's ever worked in Cyprus. I don't know if he's ever worked in Spain. I don't know. For me, this kind of like blows my mind because, first of all, AEL with a La Liga team working together, even if it is just for youth development, I think is a great idea. I think it's a great idea. And if both clubs market this correctly, you know, the potential to do more business or to increase the brand and the visibility is incredible. It's gargantuan, potentially, for AEL especially. Now, let's get it right. It wouldn't be the first time AEL have had something like this proposed to them. Go back to previous shows. Just saying. Anyway. There's a 5-year gap between Triskovsky and Trametsani. Okay, so their paths didn't cross. Okay, fine. I thought there might be something, but anyway, I was wrong. So there was that. There was that announcement. But then, next day, as in yesterday, another story, this time from Gostesera Sports, linking AEL with a similar agreement with Genoa. Now, according to the report, if finalized, the partnership with the Italian club is expected to mirror the one with newly promoted La Liga side, Levante. The primary focus will be on the development of young, promising players. Additionally, the agreement is set to include mutual visits between the clubs from both the Spanish and the Cypriot side. And let's get it right. For those of you who aren't aware, there are quite a few Cypriot players playing in Italy within the Primavera. In fact, Torino have got a Cypriot striker called Zanos Sava. You know, Giulio went out there as well. Neofido of Omonoia went to Sassuolo last year, won the Primavera. There's quite a few Cypriots in Italy. And I'm pretty certain, if I'm not mistaken, Evagoros Haralambous of Ananorthos spent time at Granada in Spain. So it's not abnormal for Cypriot youngsters to go play in Italy and Spain. Whether they stay there is another thing. But this is a great move for AEL, especially. I mean, again, I don't know how much Levante and Genoa will get out of this deal, but for AEL as a whole, a club that is obviously rebuilding, trying to create partnerships, trying to elevate staff, elevate the quality around the club, this is incredible. It's a fantastic deal. And it's thinking outside the box. My goodness, it's a Cypriot club stepping outside its comfort zone. Whoa, my goodness. Flipping hell. It's not as if like we've been talking about clubs having to do this for a while, is it? Genoa have Lisandro in the Primavera. That's right. That's right. Anyway, staying with AEL, and they are linked with, Morgan Ferrier, the Omonoia Aradipu striker who scored 6 goals last season. Apparently, he's going to be the first name to come in through the door. Interesting. Again, they've been crying out for a striker. Didn't work out. Hasn't been worked out for any strikers, really, has it? I mean, even Triskovsky scored quite a few goals last season. Most of them were penalties. They needed a bagsman. Perhaps this is the guy. Never know. And listen, say what you would want about Ferrier, but he's played for some really big clubs across Europe, especially in the UK. And he did well last season. Let's get it right. So yeah, that's your IL section. Let me just cut that bit out of my notes so I don't look like an idiot. Now, let's move over to Buffalo, the cup winner, the league champions, the cup finalists. And a little bit of sad news with Buffalo. Jairo, yep, the nuisance. He's left the club and they've released a heartfelt statement. After 4 unforgettable seasons, our iconic captain Jairo bids farewell to Buffalo FC, embarking on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in Asia. A true leader on and off the pitch, Jairo made over 160 appearances, amassing 59 goals and 27 assists. That's a lot of assists, man. Bloody hell, I didn't know he got that many. He became a symbol of commitment, professionalism, and passion. Under his captaincy, Buffalo reached historic milestones, including winning both domestic titles and reaching the UEFA Conference League round of 16, cementing his legacy in the club's history. Jairo leaves with our utmost respect and gratitude, having played a pivotal role in our rise and proudly wearing the armband with honor. We are happy to see him pursue this next step in his career and wish him all the best in the future. Obrigado, Capital. You will always be part of the Buffalo family. And I'll tell you what, right? He was fucking horrible player to play against. There are players and coaches I've spoken to, and I said, who's the most difficult opponent? And more often than not, they've said Jairo. I said, what is it about him? Because I've seen this guy play. Obviously, he's a bagsman. He loves to peel off, play off the defender's shoulder, great movement, strong. But they said to me, most of them said to me, he's just a cunt. Pardon the language, he's a cunt. Not in a bad way, but he's just like, he's one of those strikers that he knows the dark arts. He's physical. He'll win free kicks. He'll clear into a defender. He knows when to win free kicks. He knows how to win penalties. He's just that kind of player. And I'll tell you what, you know, with the amount of goals he scored, you know, golden boots in Cyprus, how many times has he been in team of the season? 3, 4? I mean, this is a proper legend. And here's the thing. I honestly believe if Buffalo were an Abel or an Omonoia, people would be talking about him as one of the best strikers to play in Cyprus, maybe top 5. Maybe top 5. You know, but he didn't win loads of honours, but he won a league and a cup in 4 years. Fantastic player, man. Absolutely fantastic player. And he's a nice guy as well, man. From what people tell me, he's a top bloke. You see him in the title celebrations or when they score goals, or you can see he's not just a leader. Like, you could tell he's got charisma. You could tell he's a nice human being. You never hear him getting into trouble. Nothing. Consummate pro. Alex says, if they let Jairo go, we know they'll replace him with a top player. Wish Jairo all the best. Great play. Exactly, Alex. Spot on, mate. Top player. Top player. Anyway, you said if Jairo goes, they will replace him with a top player. Well, they have been linked with Valencia striker Umar Sadiq. This is from Supersport. The 28-year-old Nigerian international scored 5 goals in 23 games last season for Valencia. That's all we know. That's the only thing that we've heard. There's no information, nothing else. Maybe it's just, I don't know, website talk, Panamithka, stories, I don't know. But I will tell you this. Do not be surprised if Buffalo, I wouldn't say go crazy in the transfer window, but don't be surprised if they bring in 2 or 3 names, like they did with Orsic and Ken Sema, because they're going to want to retain the title, and they sure as hell want to get into the Champions League, or at least have a good Europa League campaign. Now, can they do it with the squad that they have? Well, we saw how they capitulated against Djurgården. Maybe that was fatigue. I don't know. Maybe the quality just wasn't there, or maybe they just had 1 bad game because they won the first leg, didn't they? But Carcedo has proved his worth to the club. Cup winners, league champions, and the cup final. I'm pretty certain he can go on Mr. Dubov's door and say, Mr. President, I need 3 M's this summer. I need 3 M's. I need 3 million for 4. And Dubov will probably say, yeah, okay. Because if that 4 million will get us into the Champions League, wouldn't be too much of a gamble, would it? Really wouldn't. Because we know that Buffon know how to do the financial fair play thing. Anyway, let's move on before I get myself shot. Now, so, you know, I mentioned before Omonoia and the whole Berg to the future thing, bringing in people that were there before Berg, Simos. Well, there was a rumor that Neofido Larku, this guy, was going to come back. Well, seems to be that Mr. Larku could be heading to Salamina. Yes, as their technical director, because Salamina, who advertised for a new technical director a few weeks ago, while Simos Daruli was there, decided to keep Simos. And then Simos left to go to Omonoia. And now they need a new technical director. What can I tell you? But from what I know, this is a Salamina side that is desperate for money. So I guess if anyone is a technical director that has maybe 400 or 500 grand in their pocket and say, there you go, here's 500 grand, give me the job, they'll do it. That's just how it seems. But it's not just Salamina, it's most other clubs in Cyprus as well. You know, if you are a technical director or a sporting director or a coach and you need a job, but you have 500,000 in your pocket and you say to them, here's 500,000, give me the job, they'll take it. Doesn't matter how bad your CV is, because that's how desperate clubs are for money. I'm just saying. So yeah, Larku is linked with the Salamina job. Right. Sticking with hierarchical changes, Omonoia Radipu have announced the recruitment of Mr. Valandris Mletas. Mletas had a similar role at Greek Division 2 side. Oh, Panachaiki, sorry. Yeah. And before that, he was at Gavala for 3 months. I always feel like giggling whenever I hear the name Gavala. If you know, you know. So yeah, bit of news there, which, I don't know, whatever. Now, boys and girls, the moment is here. Because we're very, very close to something incredible, but yet dodgy as fuck, in my opinion. Reports claim that the imminent departure of Koumas are being confirmed from multiple sources. Interesting. It's understood that Koumas informed close associates during a meeting on Tuesday that he's considering stepping down from his role as CFA president to take on an expanded responsibilities with UEFA. You see how that works? The CFA president, who is under investigation for corruption, could be leaving to get a job within UEFA. Make it make sense. I'm just saying. I'll continue. So, however, alternative reports suggest that Koumas' decision may be tied to the contents of a criminal investigation currently being conducted by the Legal Service Department. Regardless of the motive, the spotlight has now shifted to the succession race and the figures emerging as potential replacements. So they've listed names like Haris Loizidis, who apparently is a really good friend of Koumas. He's been there for a while as well at the CFA. Apparently, Koumas thinks that Loizidis is like a suitable figure to carry on his immaculate work. Another name is Bafo's representative, Philippos Georgiou. And I think he's the vice president, sorry. Yeah, there you go. And also, Thasso's best mate, Stavros Dimosenos. But we know that, you know, Stavro has got other things to worry about at the moment. But I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into Garmiodissa. Nope. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Actually, I will. I will do it. Because that player on the left, Yusuf Abdullahi of Kano Pillars, 19-year-old winger, is being monitored by Garmiodissa. So, yeah, this is a really tricky, pacey player. He reminds me a little bit like Iron Robin. Loves to bring the ball inside, put it top bins, that kind of player, you know? So, yeah, he looks like a pretty decent player. And the player on the right-hand side, now you're looking at, who's this guy? Who is this guy? Well, the lad is called Isak Savior, and he's playing for a Nigerian side at the moment. He's 23 years old. He's being looked at by 2 teams in Cyprus. I can tell you this for now, 100%. Now, what's so special about this lad? He's a box-to-box central midfielder, and last night he was on the bench for Nigeria's friendly against Ghana. So let's see how this one pans out. Good little player. He's quite small as well, but my goodness. Kind of like the Michael Essien role kind of player. Pretty decent. Anyway, got an itchy eye. See, I haven't even puked yet. No, sorry. As I said at the top of the show, I've been yakking all day, so I don't know how I managed to keep it down. Right. A couple of things before I wrap it up. I've done 46 minutes, man. 46 minutes without a Thasso. How have I done this? This is all mad. Right. Next one. Pasp Corner. Yes. Our friends over at Pasp doing some great stuff. And one bit of news. Look at that. On Alpha's TV show. Where is it? I had more notes. Where's it gone? Alpha Enimmerosi. There you go, with Gadia Sava, Spiro, our mate, and Nicky English. Nicky English, I love that name. Nicolas Inglezu and Andrea Michael spoke candidly about the systemic disparities between men and women's football in Cyprus. Spiro accused the authorities of breaching equality laws and hiding financial information. He said, the law on equal benefits is being violated. We've submitted complaints with solid evidence. He also criticized the CFA's communication to the Human Rights Committee. Jesus. It was full of inaccuracies, an attempt to mislead and misinform. Now, also on the topic of transparency and accountability, he said, we're still waiting on the ombudsman's, I can't even say it, ombudsperson's investigation. Letters were sent to Goa and the CFA 2 months ago, but they've ignored them completely. Flipping out. Right, Andrea, who recently retired, questioned the structure and opportunities available. She said, for years, we've been fighting the same battles. She also challenged the CFA's claims of 800 registered female players. She said, with only 4 top-tier teams, where are these 800 players supposed to go? What's their future? And that's a very, very, very good question. Now, as for our mate Nicky English, he actually called for a clearer vision. He said, do we want a proper women's football system or one filled with foreigners like in the men's game? He also highlighted the lack of basic respect for female players. I can exchange shirts with opponents after games. Women don't even have their names printed on their shirts. Well, there you go. There you go. And here's the other thing. When you look at the women's national team shirts, the kit, they've been mixed up anyway. But I'm glad that Pasp actually saying something. And I'm hoping that this time next year, we'll be talking about everyone holding hands and singing Kumbaya by a campfire. Maybe if Koumas goes, then things will change. I don't know. But yeah, excuse me, that is it for the news roundup. There's only one more thing. And unfortunately, Thasso isn't here to do it with me. It feels kind of sad without Thasso not doing this. But hey, we move.
It's time to spin the wheel. What is coming? We don't know. Spin the wheel now.
It's Vrioni this time, boys and girls. Yes, last day of the season, a couple weeks ago. And there is one story I need to bring to your attention. It centers around the Eternal Derby. That was one of the most pointless matches ever. But there were still disciplinary charges against both sides. So let's start. Omonoia. They have been fined because fans threw objects onto the pitch during the game, and fans brought flares and firecrackers into the stadium. Also, they were fined for dangerous items, flares, fireworks, which were ignited in the stands during the match. Can't do that. No. And also fan disturbances in the 90th minute, where apparently Omonoia fans approached the dividing sections between stands, engaging in verbal abuse, spitting and throwing plastic cups at Abor supporters, prompting police intervention in the south stand. There was also an incident in the 49th minute where Omonoia fans burned the scarf of Abor, causing unrest in the stands. You burnt our flag. Does my flag upset you? Anyway, and also stadium damage. They were fined for all of that. Seats were broken in the north stand by Omonoia fans. Okay, so Omonoia get all these fines. Let's go over to Abor. What happened with them? Well, they were fined because fans threw objects onto the pitch during the match. They also brought fireworks, flares, and smoke bombs into the stadium. They're also fined for igniting these things. They're also fined for the same incident in the 90th minute where Abor fans broke a barrier in the north stand and moved towards Omonoia fans, leading to verbal abuse, spitting, and throwing plastic cups. Funny that. It's just like they had the same weapons. They had words, phlegm, and plastic cups. But was there piss in those plastic cups? That's what I need to know. Police had to intervene in the south stand. And also there was fan misconduct in the 36th and 66th minute where Abor fans burnt a scarf of Omonoia on 2 occasions. Well, you burnt our flag, so we're going to do the same to yours. Twice. Well, actually, no. According to this, Abor did it in the 36th minute. Then Omonoia retaliated, and then Abor did it again. So, okay, well, anything you could do, I could do better. Anyway, and seats were broken in the north stand. So fine. Money being thrown everywhere, and that's it. Goes straight into the coffers of the CFA so they can go on holiday. There you go. That's it.
It's time to spin the wheel. What is coming? We don't know. Spin the wheel now.
And that's it, boys and girls. This is Mappa in under an hour. There you go. All done. Let's see if I've got any more comments. No more comments. Wow. Just from Mihaly. Now Berg and Simos are back. We bring Roy and DJ STD back. Well, they can be like chlamydia. They can come back if they want, but they have to stay. It's up to them. The door is always open. They haven't gone anyway, really. I mean, they're still part of the team, really and truly. But yeah, that's it, boys and girls. That's it. We're done. We're done. No more for this evening. No more news. Nothing else. That's it. So before I go, don't forget, thank you to our sponsors, Fonbet. And there's the QR code there. Get your 30 euros welcome bonus. And we're done. Until next week. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back. And also, don't forget, Instagram, @ThisIsMappa, X, @ThisIsMappa. Follow us. Follow. Goodbye, boys and girls. Ciao.